Picture a night sky lit up with rockets. Alarms blare, people rush to shelters, and the world holds its breath. The Iran-Israel conflict isn't just local. It pulls in nations, ideas, and millions of lives. This region is vital for global energy and stability. Any spark here can send oil prices soaring and rattle markets. What's different now? The speed, advanced weapons, and the risk of disaster, even nuclear. That's why the world watches, fearing what could come next. Once, Iran and Israel were not enemies. Before 1979, Iran's Shah kept close ties with the West and with Israel. They traded, shared secrets, and quietly helped each other. But in 1979, everything changed. The Islamic Revolution brought new leaders who called Israel an enemy. Iran's government rejected peace and backed groups fighting Israel. This dark history explains why today's conflict is so fierce and peace so elusive. Why did the cold, shadowy fight turn into open war? There are four main reasons. First is fear of nuclear weapons. Israel believes Iran is secretly building a bomb. If Iran succeeds, Israel worries it could be destroyed in a single strike. This fear drives Israel to act before it is too late. Second is regional rivalry. Iran wants to be the top power in the Middle East. Israel, backed by the United States, stands in the way. Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries also fear Iran's growing strength. This competition makes every move more dangerous. Third are the proxy conflicts. Iran supports armed groups in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. These groups attack Israel, sometimes with thousands of rockets. Israel, in turn, strikes their bases and leaders. This web of allies and enemies means a clash in one place can spread quickly to others. The final trigger was a direct attack. When missiles flew from Iran towards Israeli cities, it crossed a red line. Israel struck back, not only at the rockets, but deep inside Iran itself. After years of secret blows, the war was now out in the open. Iran and Israel fight in very different ways. Israel's military is small but advanced, with cutting-edge jets, powerful missiles, and world-class intelligence. Its Iron Dome protects cities from rocket attacks. Iran, meanwhile, has a large army and many allies. Its strength is in numbers and its network of proxies. Iran can launch many missiles at once, overwhelming defenses. The war is fought in the skies and in the shadows of the internet, a deadly dance of power and tactics. The Iran-Israel war does not stay within their borders. The Middle East is the world's fuel station. When missiles fly, oil prices jump. Ships in the Persian Gulf risk being attacked, and global markets shake. Every country that depends on oil, from India to Germany, feels the shock. Diplomats scramble to calm the crisis. The United States supports Israel and sends warships to the region. Russia and China back Iran, at least with words and warnings. The United Nations calls for peace, but its influence is limited. Each nation worries the war could drag them in or upset their interests. Ordinary people pay the highest price. In Israel, families live in fear of rockets. In Iran, airstrikes destroy factories and homes. In countries like Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq, proxy battles cause chaos, hunger, and mass flights of refugees. Hospitals struggle to cope, and schools close. Children grow up knowing only war and loss. Every day, aid workers, journalists, and volunteers risk their lives to help. But the damage spreads faster than help can arrive. The war's shadow stretches across continents, touching lives far from the battlefield. Many wars are tragic. This one is especially dangerous for three reasons. First is the nuclear risk. Both countries talk about crossing nuclear red lines. If either side uses or is believed to use such weapons, the damage would be beyond repair. Even the threat makes the world nervous. Second is the rise of cyber warfare. With each side hacking the other, no one knows what will break next. A successful attack could shut down power grids, hospitals, or even critical military systems. The line between war and peace blurs in cyberspace, making accidents more likely. Third, there is the risk of regional spread. Every group allied with Iran or Israel could be drawn in. Countries like Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and even Turkey might join the fight. The war could become a firestorm, burning across the Middle East and beyond. Because of these dangers, world leaders urge caution. Yet, the longer the conflict lasts, the harder it becomes to stop. The risk grows each day. What will the future bring? There are three main paths. The first is peace. It is possible, but hard to imagine right now. It would take brave leaders, open talks, and perhaps a new deal on nuclear weapons. The world would need to help rebuild trust and offer guarantees. The second path is a grinding, endless war. Both sides might keep fighting through proxies, cyber attacks, and small strikes, but avoid a final destructive battle. This would mean years more of suffering, fear, and instability, not just for Israel and Iran, but for millions across the region. The darkest path is a wider war. If the fighting pulls in more countries, or if nuclear weapons are used, the consequences would be unthinkable. The Middle East could change forever, with new borders, broken cities, and millions more refugees. The choice is not only for Iran and Israel. The world must decide how much it will risk, how much it will help, and how far it will go to push for peace. The future of the Middle East, and perhaps the world, hangs in the balance. Wars are never simple, and the Iran-Israel conflict is one of the world's most tangled. History, faith, power, and fear all play their part. Yet even in the darkest moments, there are people on both sides who hope for peace, a chance to live without fear, to raise families, to build instead of destroy. Understanding this conflict is the first step to ending it. We must listen to the stories of those caught in the middle and learn the lessons of history. Only then can we hope to turn away from war and towards a future where all can live in security and dignity. May the world remember, the cost of war is always too high. The time for peace must come before it is too late.